Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A short comment on the title. New government, yes, we are 2 months old, so we're certainly a new government. And change or continuity. Continuity means a stalemate, so change we must for improving lives of people. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you, USIP, for the invitation. I've been here before in a different capacity, but I'm glad to be here again. You're doing a wonderful job as an institution, and would love to work with you. Met Secretary Pompeo when he visited Islamabad on the 5th of September. That was the first engagement, a high-level engagement after a long pause with this administration. In my view, it was a good meeting. It was a constructive engagement. He had spoken to the Prime Minister a few days earlier when he called to congratulate him on his electoral victory. He also met the Prime Minister and the other leadership while he was in Pakistan. My meeting with Secretary Pompeo and the National Security Advisor, Mr. Bolton, yesterday, I think was useful, engaging, and forward-looking. We had decided when we met in Islamabad that we will reconvene, pick up the threads from where we left them in Islamabad, and at the end of the UNGA session, we will have another round, and we did that. So I'm going back with hope. One has been hearing about disappointments, failed expectations, exasperation, but then you always have to think of hope and change. And I'm going back with a positive view of hope and change. Our bilateral relationship, US-Pakistan bilateral relationship, has been, as most of you know, cyclical. We've had our highs and we've had our lows. The last 2 years in particular, I would say, were difficult. And let's acknowledge they were difficult. And one is here to reconnect, and one is here to rebuild what, in my view, is an important relationship to achieve our collective objective, which is peace, reconciliation, and stability. History tells us whenever we've engaged and whenever we've cooperated, it's been to our mutual advantage, and both sides have benefited, whether it was the Cold War, the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, or decimating Al-Qaeda. So there's a positive side, and we should always look at the positives as well. Highlighting, pointing out the negatives is very easy. Building positivity at times is difficult. Is that the alert? It'd be unfair. I've seen, read a lot of criticism, and I think it's unfair not to recognize the contributions Pakistan has made to the successes that you've had in Afghanistan, and you've had successes despite the challenges. Just to highlight a few, the G-logs and the A-logs and the continued support that we're giving has not only saved billions of dollars, it has contributed to your success in Afghanistan. Just to put you in perspective, over 500,000 containers went through Pakistan, and the cargo was treated as diplomatic cargo. Dealing with Al-Qaeda, our contribution should not be overlooked. 950 of them were killed and over 1,100 handed over. Similarly, to blame Pakistan for all the difficulties in Afghanistan, in my view, again, would be unfair. We cannot and should not be held responsible for the failures in Afghanistan, whether it's poor governance, corruption, or disunity within the Afghan government. They have contributed to the challenges. We in Pakistan recognize that peace, stability, and security, to achieve peace, stability, security, good neighborly relations with Afghanistan are critical. What do we want to see in Afghanistan? They're a sovereign country. They will take their decisions, and we have to respect their decisions. But what do we want to see? We would want to see a democratic, progressive, peaceful, and inclusive government in Afghanistan. They will decide who governs them. We have no favorites in Afghanistan. People talk of safe havens in Pakistan, and a lot has been written about it. But we are concerned about eliminating safe havens that exist today in Afghanistan under your watch. So that is a concern for us. Reduction in violence is our collective objective. And growth in production of narcotics, perhaps I was reading somewhere, it went up by 87% last year, is a concern. Being a lower riparian, we share waters. Protection of water rights is also one of our concerns. Border management is important. Border controls and a collaborative approach is, we think, is going to be important. Afghan refugees, and there are 2.7 million still in Pakistan, their return in a time-bound manner, we think will contribute to peace and security in Pakistan. Today, we have a new arrangement in Pakistan, and this new arrangement between Afghanistan and Pakistan, and this new arrangement called APAPS was launched on the 22nd of July this year. Now, this is putting in place a mechanism, a structured, institutionalized mechanism for a continuous dialogue to address all the issues that exist between us.